Welcome, 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 everybody. What's up? Thank you for joining us for another segment of Real Talk Tuesday. I am Brittany Stevenson, and I will be facilitating tonight's conversation. I got my crew with me, minus one. I have Reverend Brandon Gale, Reverend Kenneth Watson, Sister Brianna Branch, Sister Miosha Crippen couldn't join us tonight. We miss you. We hope to see you next time. And as you can see, we have not one but two guests joining us tonight. We have Brother Stephen Pender, and we have Sister Kiwana Taylor. So I'm pretty sure you're probably wondering why we have these two joining us tonight. I know y'all wonder, so I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all. So June is Black Music Awareness Month. So who better to have on our show than two talented, gifted, anointed, appointed, called musicians such as Miss Kiwana and Brother Pender. So Brother Pender, for those who don't know, Brother Pender is the minister of music here at First Baptist Church. He has been with us since 2016. He presides over all aspects of music at our church. He is a gifted musical clinician. He teaches music. He is music. He lives it, breathes it, and he's just Mr. Music. And we also have Miss Kiwana Taylor, who is a longtime member, longtime well-wisher of our church. She is a double grad of Morgan State, having majored in having a bachelor's and a master's in, I believe, music vocal training. Music, is that what it was, Kiwana?
Music vocal performance.
Vocal performance. So, who better to talk to us tonight about music than two people who are just live it, breathe it, and, do that. So, let's get into this topic. I told you that tonight we're talking about Black music awareness. So let's ask our guest panelists first. What is Black music awareness, Stephen?
It's actually the word itself. It's awareness to Black music. Anyone that is in the field or the arts of Black music that is in the African American race, we're bringing awareness to their work of arts, no matter what genre or whatever it is.
Kiwana, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Pretty much what he said, but the gist of it is acknowledging, celebrating the accomplishments and contributions that we've made to music.
I agree with that. So since we're talking about Black music awareness, why, and it's a whole month dedicated to it. It's not just a week or a day. June is Black Music Awareness Month. Why do you think that it is important to celebrate Black music? And that's for everyone. So anyone can go ahead and jump in and answer that question.
I can start.
Okay.
Out of all the things that this world has tried and does take from us, one thing they cannot take is our contribution to music and our culture. So it's important for us to celebrate and to keep that alive.
Okay. Anybody else?
Another thing is history has proven that we have not had our fair shake of receiving the credit that we're deserving throughout all times. I mean, it's just not in the past, I'd say, decade where artists and producers have received the credit that they deserve for work that they done years ago.
Yeah, and that makes sense. So, any of our non-gifted musical talent want to add to that? Not saying that y'all not. The shade was real.
Called us ungifted.
Ooh. I'm about to say, my God. I got about 25 years in too. I'm not one of them, but
listen, I was coming today. We don't, everybody here has touched music, in one way or the other.
No, for me, I just think that Black music is who we are as a people. I mean, it got us through and still get us through some of the most toughest times, roughest times of our lives. I mean, you think about that's how the slaves communicated, in that time period. That's how even now, a lot of musicians, Black musicians, you can almost tell what they're going through just by what their words are in the music or what they went through in the time when they wrote the music. So it's our way of communicating our soul, our heart to the rest of the world. And we still do that now through our music. Even with Black performers, you can tell somebody's done had a rough week by their performance. Because they pour everything into their music. So, you can just, that's who we are as a people. I mean, we will start moving. We could hear a beat and we might not even have music on our mind. But if we hear a beat, we automatically start moving. It's just a part of us. It's a part of our culture. It's just a part of us,
Anybody else?
No, I mean, I agree with what everybody said. I mean, in addition to that, music raised a lot of us, right? I mean, believe it or not, man, when I was growing up, I couldn't go to Google and just put something in and it would spit out the answer. I mean, a lot of the things I learned about life, culture, what was going on, a lot of life lessons. I mean, I had to learn through music. A lot of kids growing up, maybe didn't have supportive systems of their parents or teachers. And I mean, a lot of their education was through music. So, I mean, music is extremely important, especially to our culture.
Okay. Sister Brianna, do you have anything that you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I feel like everyone has said everything that I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay. So before we go any further, I do want to address the shade that I threw. I did throw a little shade earlier when I was introducing Kiwana and Steven. Kiwana and Steven are gifted, talented musicians, but we also, everybody on this screen has worked in music in one way, shape, or form or the other. We have Reverend Brandon Gale, who has had 25 plus years praying, exalting, ministering, playing instruments. And so you have Reverend Kenneth Watson, who's played instruments in the church. I sing on the praise team, I've danced, and Brianna has sang on the praise team. So we are all musically gifted, just some a little on different levels, but we are all gifted and talented in our own right. So I'm gonna address my shade a little bit.
Speak for yourself. Speak to your. You're
right. We are all gifted.
It was like you just cleaned the shade up and then threw more.
I guess I'm just literally a shady person today. It's the shade for me. So I want to ask our guest panelists this question because, I always wonder, when someone goes into a specific field, I want to know why. So, Kiwana, what spoke to you and said, you know what, I'm going to get that bachelor's of art in music. I'm going to get that master's in music. What was it about music that just said, this is what I want in my life. This is what I have to do?
Music is that one thing that no matter where you go in the world, people understand it. They embrace it. They just get it. It's a form of expression. And for most of us, it's a form of release. There's a quote. It was like, when words fail, music speaks. Mm-hmm. So like, even if you can't find words for what you're dealing with, there's always a song for it. So that kind of clicked. And then also, I think when people are trying to find what their passion is or what they want to do with their life, they kind of have to consider, what is it that I love to do that even though it's work or I'm going into work, it doesn't feel like work. Mm-hmm. And for me, that ended up being music. For example, there's been plenty of times where I have been made to stay up way past my bedtime, and those that know I love my sleep.
She's an early sleeper.
But if I'm going to be up past my bedtime, the only way I can do it and still like be active and fully functioning is if I'm doing music.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Brother Pender, what was that spoke to your heart that just said, music is me, I have to be it? And you have yourself muted, so unmute yourself.
Well, I've been playing music since the age of 2, so music was literally born in me. I'm a third generation musician. My grandfather played, my father plays, and I play. So I was kind of born into it. So I had a choice, but I didn't have a choice. It's either you're gonna play music or you're gonna play music. So it was an instant love. Since a child, I was so engulfed in music, and it was something that I fell in love with, and music fell back in love with me. And it's always been something that I knew would never leave. in a sense. You know, like how, you know, God never leaves. I know music will never leave because it's just always there. If I'm angry, go play, sing a song. You know, if I'm happy, play some more. I get happy again. You know, so it's just always been an ever-present thing that I've always loved and nurtured and wanted to be great at.
We think you're great, Stephen.
Oh, thank you so much.
Reverend Gail, 25 years of playing, singing. What is that about music for you? What does music do for you? I mean, because while you may not be as far as like, you may not have gone to school for it, or, you know, be a recording artist or whatever, but anybody who ever has been
well, he is a recording artist.
Not yet.
He is a recorded artist.
Brandon has music that he's been sitting on for years.
Ooh.
Brandon, you better walk into your season. So let us talk to us about music for you.
Music is it wasn't, well, I come from a family of singers. We've got a couple of them that it didn't fall on, but majority of us can sing, right? So singing, we had a family choir, so we got together as a family union. That was we had a service, and that we sang was the choir for the service. And so growing up, you know, my father wasn't a musician or anything like that. I just got fascinated by other piano players, seeing other people play music. And, you know, I didn't start off with keyboard. I started off playing on an old-fashioned piano, where we had to take the front of it off to get more sound out of it, or the top of it off to get more sound out of it. So that's how I started when I started playing. And, but yeah, it became a love and a passion for me, especially from like age 8. And I really started getting into it about age 11. That's when I really started playing. And it's got me through every rough season of my life. Like Stephen was saying, is that, you know, hey, if you're upset, go play. If you know, like you say, if you're having a bad day or good day or whatever, music's there. So for me, I believe God put music in my life to really help carry me through life. If that makes sense. Yeah, to help carry me through life, because it's something I can always depend on. It always soothes me, whether I'm listening to it or whether I'm playing it or singing it. That's what soothes me. Music soothes me. Yeah, and like Yolanda said, I have songs I have written years ago that I have not recorded and need to record. You know, so that season is coming. It's probably here. But
your brother-in-law does have a studio, you know, just your brother-in-law does have a studio, you know, just saying. He has one. He's in it right now. Reverend Watson, talk to us about your musical background, because, you know, I remember being young and I remember looking over and I was like, yo, is killing it on the drums. Like, can you talk to us about that a little bit? I know it's been some time, but hey.
It's been so long. I mean, growing up, similar to a lot of us, right? You know, we acquire a lot of skills in church, right? I mean, you know, and people being patient with us while we learn how to sing or how to play. So I was just appreciative that our church, the people within our congregation, allowed me room to grow, right? Because me playing the drums, you know, it provides you with confidence, right? And it kind of springboards you into other things. So I mean, I was blessed, and I really enjoyed it. I don't have a desire to do it anymore. You know, sometimes, you know, the desire also leaves when sometimes you need to realize when you just need to stop doing something, right? You know, you need to you acknowledge that some things just pass you by, right? And I mean, that was one of the things that I enjoyed, but I mean, it just passed me by, and God, you know, propelled me into other things. Yeah. But I still love listening to people play. I admire the gifts that God gives individuals, especially by way of percussion, because I have an ear for it. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that season of my life, and I was blessed to do it. And God also whispered into my ear and told me it was time for me to give that up. So I was obedient. I was obedient to the Lord.
Obedience is better than sacrifice. Brianna, do you want to talk about musical background, within yourself?
Sure. That icebreaker question where like people are like, if your life was a movie, like what would the title of it be?
Mm-hmm.
My answer is quite literally always Brianna the musical, because in almost anything I do, I'm going to sing it. I can be putting dishes away and I will be making up a song about why I'm putting dishes away, how many dishes got to go away, this, that, and the other. And I am prone to break out into songs at any time, at any moment, for any reason. I'll even come up with choreography on the spot, just because why not?
I feel like,
because why not?
Because why not?
It brings like so much joy. It makes me happy. I mean, if other people around me are tickled, that's nice too, but we don't care about them, and I mean, I guess I dabbled in singing a little bit. I dipped my toe in playing the flute for a little while. Music is just something that I've always loved. I felt like it's a great way to express myself. I think we mentioned it earlier, but like when I don't know what to say or I need help trying to figure out how I feel, I know that I can turn on music and just like sit in my bed and sit with it. And I'm like, okay, processing. And that's what I love about it. That's the role it's played in my life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a similar background to that, Brianna, because, I played, I was in band. I was a band geek. I was the chorus person. And just naturally, I felt kind of lost in other classes. But when I was taking my band classes and my chorus classes, that came so natural to me. Playing, I played clarinet, bass clarinet. I played the flute a little bit. I played a few instruments. And anybody that plays a woodwind, woodwinds are not for the faint of heart, so I remember, just that. And like I said, it was calming and it was easy and it was peace and it made me feel, and like Reverend Watson spoke about confident, it built some confidence because, sometimes when you're not good at other things, it makes you doubt yourself, but then you got this thing that you're actually really good at. So, and as Reverend Watson said, I knew when it was time for me to give that up. I walked into that season and then I was able to walk out of it. And it's okay because, I still sing with church and we love it. But, seasons change. God stays the same, but seasons change. So, and we thank God for, like Reverend Watson said, I thank God for that time because it was there and it helped, but now we're over it. So yes. So everybody, I think we answered this question a little bit, but I want to go back to it. When you think about Black music and Black musicians and the culture that we bring to music as a whole, do you think that Black people, Black artists, Black, producers, do you think that they get the recognition, the credit that is due to them? Everybody's face is like, you're right. So
honey, no. No. Our field gets so downplayed and belittled, like it's not a real thing or a real career. I was ready to check somebody one time. The Lord had to get me together real quick because they're like, why are you so tired? You're just a music major. It's easy. Well, honey, I was about to turn into Rasputia. You do it. They think that is so simple and so easy, but then when you try to do it, so yeah, and it's just like, especially when it comes to the whole money thing, not saying like it's all about money, but that is something that we went to, or some of us went to school for, or we got training for, and different things like that. So that is our career, that is our job. When you go clock in on your 9 to 5, or when we clock in on our 9 to 5s, we expect to get respected and we expect to get paid. Same thing when we're performing, but we don't get it.
That's crazy. And it's unfortunate. Does anyone else have anything they want to add about that?
There's so many musicians. There's so many tales, especially for the years that I've been on the road touring and playing with other musicians. And I was just at a conference last week, and there was this legendary guitar player named Jonathan DeBose, and him and a drummer that was attending were talking about a full recording that they did for a legend. I won't say the name. They did the full recording, and at the end of it, they didn't get paid. And that record was a hit.
And it's a thing. People keep, like, I'm in this group on Facebook for like singers, BGBs, musicians, and stuff. And one thing that we always say in there is enough of the chicken dinners. Granted, food's great, but we need more payment than just a meal.
You can't pay your light bill with
the time that we put in.
Yeah, you can't pay light bills with chicken dinners, folks. People, you know. So, yeah. So, since we were still...
hold on, but
cool. Sure.
Comment. And I think that's on the, I don't think I know it is. I think that's on the local level too. Not just, you know, even though, you know, Stephen and Kiwana traveled all over the place, singing and ministering and playing. And so they're a little more broader, but they also work on the local level too. And you also, you know that people want you to play for funerals and weddings, and they want you to sing for certain events and all this kind of stuff, and they don't respect the fact that either you're an artist or the fact that, you know, you are, you know, a musician, and you called me. I was sitting at home. I didn't ask to come to your event. I was fine sitting at home, you know, but they'll look at you like, and I had to learn this, even especially living away now, not being so close, you know, close but not close to the shore, is that, you know, when people call you to sing for a funeral or play for a service, you have to quote them a price because they won't take care of you. You know, and that's crazy because some families, I know I have to say I need this before I come. And then there's some families where I know they're going to take care of me. So it all depends on the family, but, you know, it's about, they will try to make you feel bad that you're asking for a certain amount, when at the end of the day, you know, you got to feed your family like they have to feed theirs, and you're taking time away from your family or something that you could be pouring yourself into, to be there for them. And I'm not saying that sometimes God will lead you to do things and not take anything for it, but there are times, and the majority of the time, it's like, okay, you need my services, then I need cash or check. Or cash app.
Zelle, Venmo.
Zelle. You're like, whatever's convenient for you. But
whatever works.
My cash.
We need some coins.
Coins.
And to take it a step further, you know, when it comes down to even the genre, you can tell that there's a big financial, a gap. Right now, the major genres that make the most money is country, pop, and rock. Everybody else don't have the same budget and the same financial backing. So the fact that we actually are bringing more awareness to our art means that we have to support each other a little bit better than what we've done in the past. So it's vital. We can't get to that level if we don't have the financial backing and support, or produce the quality of those different industries and genres. It's impossible. It's like trying to build it's like trying to build a sub with Amazon parts or stuff from a shipwreck.
Too soon. But too soon. So, moving on. Since and since Brother Bender mentioned genres, we're going to talk about genres. What are some of y'all's pull it together? What are some of y'all's favorite genres of music? I'll go first so that everybody can compose themselves. Believe it or not, I mean, obviously, you know, growing up in church, we love gospel, but I have ratchet girl moments. And so in those moments, I love ratchet girl, you know, the Cardi B, the Glorilla, that's my thing. So I guess that would be rap. But then, you know, when I need to focus, I realize that, you know, believe it or not, if I need to write a paper, I remember, in this MBA program, and if I turn on some salsa music, it's something about the beats in that really keep me focused. I can write a 20-page paper in like 3 hours, and that is no lie. If I have everything like lined up and lined out, I can get it done, because it's something about that will entice and incite hyper focus in me. So I love it. I don't sit and listen to it every day, but when I need to focus, I'm clicking the salsa and the YouTube, and it's got the whole 10 hours of it, and I'm just going, and it's just giving. So for genres for me, I would say, like, obviously I would say gospel, or rap, and then there's my salsa music. So yeah, everybody else?
Yeah, mine depends on the day, depends on the mood, depends on what I'm doing. I like 80s rock, 90s rap, 90s R&B. Huge fan of go-go.
Yes.
I like house music. I guess I should also say I like gospel.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I guess.
This is real talk. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
I don't want anybody criticizing me.
They're gonna do it anyway.
Passing judgment.
They're gonna do it anyway because you said you like house music.
Yeah, but I absolutely love music, but again, it depends. It depends on it really depends on the mood that I am, and I could go like if I'm in the gym, I tend to I like hardcore rap, believe it or not, if I'm in the gym, because it kind of just motivates me. It brings a little bit of aggression out of me.
It's like your own personal form of caffeine.
Right. But then when you're home, you're chilling. You don't want to listen to that. You need to listen to something a little softer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I listen to everything. I appreciate all genres of music, regardless of the hue. Obviously my preference is towards African American music, but I do appreciate the gifts of other ethnicities.
That's facts. Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
I can share.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm really big on rap and hip hop. I love it so much. It's like amongst my favorite. Any time of day. I don't really think I have like a specific sort of like mood that I have to be in to listen to it. I just turn it on and we're on go. As Spotify would call it, I like alternative hip hop, which is, I guess, like more of like the R&B inspired type of rap. So in that same breath, I love R&B, I love soul, I love neo soul.
Yeah.
Something new I've started getting into is I actually really like classical music.
Yes,
like
me too.
There's no words. It's just all straight vibes. Like it'll be something called Seasons and you start here and then you're here, but then you're back here and it's like
Seasons is beautiful.
What is this doing to me? Like it's a beautiful thing. I love classical so much. I think it's so much fun. Yeah. So those are the ones I frequent the most.
Yeah, I listen to all kinds of music. All kinds. I listen to country. I listen to R&B. I listen to classical. I like old school hip hop. Well, not really with the new age hip hop, but I like old school hip hop. I listen to all kinds. Like I said, all depends on what mood I'm in, and sometimes depends on what I'm doing. But like I said, I think as you develop appreciation for music, you do lean more towards like the classical music, and really as you hear it, you can almost hear like I won't say the attitude. I don't know if I'm describing that right or the music term, but like I don't know, like it's like you said about seasons. You can hear people playing, like what scenes, what way the person is moving, where the musician is moving, and all that kind of stuff.
Text painting.
Yeah,
Word painting.
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, of course I love gospel, praise and worship music. That's my obviously that's like my all-time favorite. But here, I think we should be well-rounded as a Christians. I don't judge people on what kind of music they listen to. Sometimes people can be judgmental in the church, and I don't want to take a turn, but here it is. Some people can be judgmental in the church because of what they listen to, other people listen to. I don't think it makes you any more saved than listen to rap or whatever. I don't think it makes you any more saved if you listen to James Cleveland or or Shawn Mitchell or James Brown. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to work out with your own conviction, what you convicted by that.
Brandon, hold on for a second. We going there real quick.
Oh, okay.
We going there.
Jump in.
We're going somewhere. We're going there. Stephen, Kiwana, favorite genres?
Well, of course, it trained me, brought me up, trained my ear really good. But after that, I definitely have to say musical theater. Like, it's nothing for me to just start putting on a show out of nowhere. Like, Kianda, if you're watching, I probably get on her nerves a lot, turn on the Cold Color Purple album, and I'll sing the whole thing through. After that, choral music. But mainly, well, I like any like choral, whether it's classical or whatever, but mainly spirituals, because it's just something about, especially when it's an a cappella spiritual, it's just something like the way we all have to work together to make the percussion ourselves and move the song along and feel each other out. It's literally magic when it's done right. But yeah, I mean, I listen to every genre. I have my save days. I have my let's get turned days. And
okay.
But yeah, I guess it all depends on what I'm doing. If I'm in the gym, it's definitely, well, I start out with like hip hop, R&B. But once I start getting a little tired, I have to turn on the gospel for the Lord to push me through. But yeah, probably every genre except heavy metal, I can say I love.
Okay. Last but not least, Brother Pender.
I was starting to say jazz is one of my favorite genres. One, because it's amazing.
It is.
And it really shows the and nothing against any other genre, but it really shows the freedom of expression when it comes down to musicians playing and just going wherever they want to go. Jazz fusion, I love jazz fusion. I enjoy jazz fusion because it adds that like element of surprise and funk, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could be playing a jazz groove, but then you'll start feeling like a James Brown kind of feel at the same time or something. So it, I love choral music as well. I love classical music. I love country music. I love blues. I love world music. If you ever take a chance, like actually listen to like world music, like it really is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And of course I love gospel music. Can't get enough of gospel. Hallelujah, praise His name. But I would say and I guess with us all, you have to have an appreciation for all genres.
Yeah.
So really think about it. Even especially if we're in the church, every genre that we can think of is in our music.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all made by us.
Respectfully.
Other thing I would like to add is music is the only thing that can enter your mind without permission.
That is true.
And because of that, music has the ability to make you feel whatever desired effect you're looking for.
Mm.
So it could be the greatest thing in the world, but it can also be a weapon.
Yeah. You could be feeling one kind of way and just something to come in your mind. Just that song hit and just whatever. So Reverend Gail was going somewhere and we're going to go to it. So as Christians, do you think it's okay to listen to other forms of music like hip hop and R&B? Reverend Gail was going there. So Reverend Gail, we're going to start with you. You can, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. So I wanted to hold off on that question. So we can swing back on you, start with you. So you think it's, you answered it. So
I think it really depends on a person's convictions. We all know, like, and Brother Pender already touched on it. He said that music has the ability to change your mood, and so if you're a babe in Christ, and you know your your weakness is you know, lust and all that kind of stuff, I don't think you listen to R&B and and you know, certain type, you know, those type. I don't think that'll be good for you next season of your life. But as you grow, you know, but as you grow, and you know, God bless you with a mate or something like that, you don't want to listen to Shirley Caesar. You better than me. So I think it's I think, you know, you really have to know what you can handle at what time and what phase in your life as a saved believer.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is, and being realistic with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're having a rough day and you know you feel like you struggling in your flesh, there's certain music you shouldn't listen to.
Yeah.
You know, let's just be, you know, just keeping it real like we do. You know, there's certain music you shouldn't listen to. But at the end of the day, if you're strong and you know it doesn't bother you, then you know, go ahead. I think it's about being realistic with yourself and what you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what music you should listen to and things like that. You know, some people say you shouldn't listen to music with cussing in it and all that kind of stuff. But my thing is this: you watch TV with cussing in it.
A lot of people cuss themselves.
A lot of people cuss.
You talk to people who cuss.
You
read books that have profanity in it.
Yeah, so I think some people can be just too deep with stuff, and you know, you Bible says work out your own soul salvation.
That's it.
With fear and trembling. So you got to know what you can handle, know what you can't handle. But in other words, but on the flip side of that, don't pass judgment to someone who is saved and they choose to listen or choose. You get in somebody's car and you thought they were just saved to the bone according to you, what you think saved is, and they might have on some R&B. Oh, sister, you listen to R&B? Yeah, honey. Yeah, that's gonna take us home tonight. You know, that's gonna take us over. You know what I'm saying? Like, calm down. So we still saved. We good. You know,
and we're still saved.
And we're still saved. You know, so I just work out your own soul salvation. Don't pass judgment on people for what they like, what they enjoy listening to, and all that. As long as it doesn't convict them. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah. So.
Reverend Watson, I want to hear your take on this, because this is the topic that we have been trying to.
No, I think that was well said by Reverend Gale. I mean, I certainly agree with everything that he says. I certainly don't think I'm going to hell because I listen to rap music or neo soul or go-go, and anybody listening to us, I don't want them to get that impression either. One of the things within the Christian community, that a concept that's really been being talked about lately, is something called being a balanced Christian. Mm-hmm. A balanced Christian, which I think is important. It's not, being a balanced Christian isn't about changing your convictions or changing your beliefs. But oftentimes when we witness to others, we can become unrelatable, right? We oftentimes want to act and conduct ourselves like we're Jesus Christ himself. And one of the most powerful
you're not.
No, one of the most powerful witnessing tools for all of us is our relatability. You know, not that we intentionally want to sin. I mean, the goal should always be to sin less. But even somebody listening to us today say, wow, you know, Reverend Gale, here's our pastor of worship. But Reverend Gale listens to R&B. You know, that's relatable, right? Our minister of music, man, he listens to jazz. He's extremely well-rounded. He appreciates music. That's relatable, right? That's relatability is really key to winning souls. So yeah, I mean, let's try to strive to be balanced Christians, and maybe that's something that we can explore and talk about more. Maybe when we come back in September. But yeah, I agree with everything Reverend Gale said.
Okay.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Fran as well. First of all, everything is not the devil's music. Like, for one, you have to listen to the message. Like, there is actually a lot of songs in the R&B world or hip hop world or any other genre that actually speaks good messages, that are speaking to things that are going on in the world today that people really need to be aware of. And they may not watch the news to find it out, but they listen to music. So that's their news to them. Mm-hmm. But like Brandon said, you got to know your own triggers. For example, if you just got out of a relationship and you are still so bitter with that person and you ready to fight them and you got all this rage, no, you shouldn't be listening to Bust the Windows Out Your Car, because you'll probably go do it. You have to know your own triggers, because I'm not in that place. I can gladly listen to that song and just sing along and rock out. You have to know your own triggers. And like he said, work out your own soul salvation. You have to know what you can take at that moment or in that season. Wait until you're healed and then reevaluate what you can listen to after that. Update your playlist with every season you go through.
Yeah. Anybody else want to add something to that? No. Oh. Okay. Well, before we end tonight's conversation, I wanted to give our guest panelists an opportunity to speak on projects or things that they have coming up, because we believe in supporting the art. We believe in supporting, musicians. We want to support you all because you're two of us. You're two of our own. So if you guys have anything that you want to say or speak on in regards to your personal, professional music career, please take this opportunity to showcase that so that our viewers can know what's going on in your life musically.
Did you want to start, Stephen? Well, for me, as far as I guess my own personal career, we're still out here pushing, doing different auditions. The goal is, of course, musical theater, but still doing BGVs, and it's kind of blurry, but they got my logo on the back, Fearless Performance Coaching. So I coach, I do individual vocal coaching, group vocal coaching, rehearsal coaching, vocal directing, arranging, rehearsals, things like that. And I actually didn't even tell Stephen this yet, but everything that I do is travel wise. So it can be local, or if you can get me to you, I'm more than welcome to travel. If it's driving distance, of course, that's one price because I can drive it. If it's not, you get the point. But I'm actually working on taking the whole vocal directing thing to another level as far as it comes to traveling. Pretty much some artists, when they travel, they don't have the budget to always take the BGVs that they want. Like, they may have BGVs in their hometown, and the people who are inviting them may not have the money to bring all of them. So they just invite the artist, and that artist may either have to sing to tracks, or they have to use maybe local singers or their church singers to sing in a church. My job then would either be to go in that night before or that morning of whatever concert it is, and to work with the singers. If you have to use local singers, to work with them to take the stress off of you, because you have to prepare your own self as the artist. But my job will be to go in, get your set, teach them the set, make sure they're prepared for anything that's thrown at them last minute. So when the show comes, smooth sailing.
That's what's up. And for anyone who doesn't know what BGV is, background vocals. So she's Miss Music, so she's using the terms, but everybody's not that. Background vocals is BGV. Brother Pender.
Well, I like to piggyback off of shit. She is actually a partner of Pender Studio. So whenever I do records, she is actually my designated vocal director. And we have a few records that we are in the process of working on. And but in the meantime, I'm working on my next record called Matters of the Heart. Ooh. And it's hopefully going to come out maybe by the end of summer, fall. But at the present, I actually just released last month a single entitled 2 Words. So it's available on all digital markets to purchase. Amen. For the, just 99 cents. Just 99 cents. So if you are on any of the, markets, iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, whatever you purchase or listen to your music, it is available for download and purchase to listen. And if you don't mind, share what your 2 words is. The reason of this song is to listen to it, and at that moment, what would be those 2 words that you feel? So that's what I'm doing now. I'm always working, but those are the things that are happening now. I'm great.
Okay.
Y'all, That Matters at the Heart is going to be a tearjerker. He played some like the rough drafts or whatever, and I was like, oh my God, Steven. But it's also like a good time. So get y'all tickets ready, whoever's watching, because when he go on tour, it's definitely a let's go out kind of night. Be prepared.
We're very proud of the both of you, and we're looking forward to everything that you guys are doing musically. But get your brother-in-law in the studio so he can release his stuff, so he can walk into his season. Amen. So it wouldn't be real talk if we didn't end with a rapid fire question. So I got one for us. So our question is, since we're talking about music, let's go musically. You get to create your own concert. This is a concert that is for you. You get to have 3 musicians, 3 artists, 3 musicians. We're even gonna add dead or alive that can come to this concert, that are performing at this concert. This is your concert, and of any genre. It doesn't have to be. It's genre. It's not genre specific. Just whatever you want, because it's for you. Who are your 3 artists? I'm gonna go first. That way, give you guys a chance, because I had thought about it since it was my question. I'm going with Beyonce. I'm going with Michael Jackson, and I'm going with Donnie McClurkin. And the reason is because I think that Beyonce, watching the clips of her current tour and just, previous tours, I look forward to the day where I'm willing to pay the money to go see her, because right now I'm not. But, we love her and we love watching her clips. Michael Jackson, I remember, I couldn't listen to a lot of, people laugh at me, but I don't know a lot of Biggie Smalls and stuff like that, because I couldn't listen to that when I was a kid. But I could always listen to Michael Jackson, because as Mom said, he ain't had no cussing in his music like that. So so Michael Jackson would be mine. Plus, I remember, watching clips, and people were just so moved by him and by being in that they were fainting. So, somebody that can just move you to faint. I'm trying to see them. And Donnie McClurkin. Say what you want about Donnie McClurkin. I just feel like he got the oil in his throat. So I just, I want to be slain by Michael Jackson. Then I want to be slain by Donnie McClurkin. So that's just that would be my concert. I start off with some Beyonce to diva it out, segue into. I feel like Michael Jackson would be the perfect segue. Then we'd end on Donnie McClurkin. We'd be in church, and then hallelujah, amen, praise the Lord. So that's my concert. Who wants to go next?
So the concert. Okay, so concert starts Saturday night. I would say the Notorious B.I.G.
Baby.
Prince.
Ooh.
And Jill Scott.
I knew he was gonna pick her.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 12:01, give me Mahalia Jackson.
At 12:01.
It's Sunday. You got to keep it holy. It's Sunday.
You got to be holy. By yourself.
It's Sunday. So I'm sorry. The challenge, the assignment was 3, and I give you 4. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna let you because
I couldn't leave Jill Scott out. I couldn't do it. In good faith, I couldn't do it.
I know. Okay. Anybody else? Who's next? I want to hear about it.
Mine is kind of weird. I would have Cynthia Erivo open. Only because
she is phenomenal.
Like,
she's phenomenal.
Favorite artist, hands down, is her, only because she is so versatile. She is not in a box.
So she is. Maybe you should tell them who she is. You guys should look her up. She's really talented.
Yeah, Kiwana, can you tell some people who she is? Because
she is. Well, one, she is an artist like as herself. She has her own music out, but she is also into musical theater. She's been on Broadway, and again, one of my favorite musicals, Color Purple, playing the role of Celie, and sings the mess out of I'm Here. Fantasia does too, and I can't wait for that to come out. But Cynthia murders it. but she also acts. Like literally, she is not put in a box, and that is always my goal, to not be in a box. So whatever genre she decides to open with, it is fine with me. After that, we will go into Auntie Anita Baker. Get her to get the dance floor going. But of course, I would probably have to end in church. And honestly, because he's on one lately, I have to go with Kalante Gavin, because one thing he gonna do is church.
Okay. I like him. Okay. Next.
I'll go.
Okay.
So first, I'm gonna start out with some Kanye, because listen to me. Depending on how you feel about him as a person, the man can make some music. All
That
right.
is facts. That is facts. That is facts.
He can make some good music. And he was like one of like the first rap artists that like I started getting into, and I was like, music is my thing. When I was younger, I'd be playing with my brats, and I'd have like Kanye on my CD player so that my brats could have a dance party. Like, he's how I started getting into rap and trying to discover like what I liked about it. So I just have to see him in person. I have to. I'm not sorry. Okay.
You ain't gotta be.
Then I think what I would do is I would transition into some Common, okay? Because I like Common as a rapper. It's something like poetic about it, and it just sounds so nice. It makes me feel really good. Like, I'm like, okay, I love this. I love his vibe. I think it's amazing. And then at the end of the night, I feel like we're all closing out with gospel, but I'd have to close it out with Kirk Franklin. I love that man. I love him.
He like
And
Uncle Kirk.
anytime I would see him, as my mom can attest, I would call him my little short bestie with the high water pants, because I would never understand how you could be as tiny and compact as he is and have your pants still flooding. But I enjoy his music so much. It brings me so much joy. You can rock out to it. There's always a good message, and I would love to see him in concert. That's my big three. That's
Okay. Reverend Gail.
Mine is kind of just off the top of my head. These okay. I'm gonna have Fantasia. I like Fantasia live, because Fantasia takes you on a roller coaster. I got to give her props. She takes you on a roller coaster. She can take you to blues, R&B, gospel. She takes you on a roller coaster. I would do Marvin Winans and his brothers.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about 80s, 90s. I'm talking about that cassette. Marvin Winans' brothers.
Okay.
The Winans, and for the smoothness, I will do Luther Vandross.
My mom would love your concert.
Yeah, big Luther though. Big Luther.
Big Luke.
Big Luther. Yeah, I would do Luther. Kitty shaking his head, but yeah, I got to do Luther, man. I got to do Luther. I'll bring Luther back for a concert. Yeah.
For one night only.
One night only.
Brother Pender, last but not least, who are your top?
All right, so this is what I would do.
Okay.
And you might not have heard these artists before. All right, so I would open up with Samo, because Samo will give you that ratchetness. Then he'll sing you to heaven, and then he'll bring you right back to the earth. Right. Then there's this band called the Smoogies. All right, this is a jazz fusion band. Now, well, you say that name, when you hear them, they have this thing called they make people music. And when I tell you it is people music, it is people music. It will leave you in the best feeling. Then I will go with this guy named Jacob Collier. He's out of London, and he is incredible. And like something's really wrong with his mind. All right, and I'm gonna do like Reverend Watson did, because like you can't at 12 o'clock. I'm calling Corey Henry. Say get on the organ, give me some fun, and then take me to church, and then I'm happy. I got 4 people. I'm ready for church. I'm gonna play
Ready
the
for
mess out of
church
that organ
at 12:01.
At 12:01.
So Now that you guys have heard everybody's concert, you can kind of get the vibe of what we all like to listen to. I want to thank Brother Steven and Sister Kiwana for joining us tonight. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge about music. Thank you, my guest, my crew panelists. Thank you guys for being here. As Reverend Watson said, we are going to take a break. We're going to take a little hiatus for July and August, and we'll be back with you in September. So until then, be blessed and enjoy your summer, and we'll see you then. Bye.